Hi, my name is Nata. I am head of operations here at Code Coven. Thank you so much for watching Modern Magicks. For the last part of our conference, we have our closing keynote delivered by Osama Dorias. We hope you enjoy.
Hello, my name is Osama Dorias, and I'm the lead game designer at WB Games in Montreal, a game design teacher at Dawson College, and one of the three Habibis on the Habibis podcast. If it's not already obvious, I'm a big fan of puns. Oh, and here are some of the games I've contributed to. I'd love to talk to you today about why mentorship is important, and the best way to do that is to talk to you about why mentorship is important to me. And to do that, I need to tell you more about who I am. So buckle up. I started making games at a very young age. I would make card games and board games out of random things I found in the house. One of my fondest memories was of making a board game on the inside of a pizza box. I thought it was so clever. It was both the board and the box at the same time. I graduated to making maps and mods for an assortment of video games. Duke Nukem 3D, StarCraft, Heroes of Might and Magic. This is an image of an Unreal Tournament map I made years before working in the industry. I spent countless hours of my childhood and teenage years making games, and yet I never entertained the idea of doing so as a career. That all changed when my friend Ahmed became a game designer. Ahmed also studied political science, and he was brown like me. So, you see, representation matters. Seeing him make it opened my eyes, and I knew I had found my calling. My entire life had prepared me for this moment. Ahmed thus became my first mentor. Over the next 6 months, he guided me in creating a portfolio. I had plenty of things to put in a portfolio, but they were all bad. So he helped me parse the bad from the not so bad and make the good better. I must have applied to over 100 companies back then, all over the world, and initially I didn't hear anything back. I felt defeated, and was in the process of deciding my next course of action when I finally got a call back from a company. They needed a poker expert and asked me if I was one. Of course, I said yes. I mean, I knew the rules and I played once in a while with friends, but honestly, I was far from being an expert. This was on a Wednesday. They told me I had a test on Friday. So naturally, I called in sick, went to the bookstore, bought 5 poker books, and didn't sleep for 2 nights. I crammed everything I could that would fit in my head about poker, read every page, and did my best to absorb as much knowledge as possible. I did the test and I aced it. And then shortly afterwards, I started as a game designer. But I immediately felt like an imposter and a fraud for years. I mean, I lied on my interview. I was so afraid of being found out that I initially refused any kind of help. My boss asked me to design the AI for the poker game. Do you know how to do that? He asked. Yeah, sure, I said, even though I hadn't a clue what an AI was or what it was supposed to look like. I mean, I didn't even know where to start. I figured it must be something you submitted in a spreadsheet. So I opened up Excel and I tried to put together rules. I really didn't have a good way of connecting steps together in a visual way. So I decided to try something else and I tried Photoshop. And I defined the steps there and I had connected them with arrows. And it worked well enough, but it was cumbersome and I kept getting lost in my own layers. And then I finally found my way to Visio. So in a few weeks' time, I had single-handedly invented flowcharts and my own version of state machines. I delivered an AI that worked well. I almost killed myself doing it, putting in countless hours and staying late and working weekends, all with the fear that I'd be found out. It's good to learn some things on your own, but not like that. What I really needed then was a guiding hand, someone to show me the way. This feeling of imposter syndrome fueled solitude persisted with me for years. I didn't ask for feedback or help. I just doubled down and barreled through it, learning every lesson the long and hard way. It took years before I felt confident enough to ask for help, because it takes courage and vulnerability to ask for help. I was fortunate enough to find many patient and kind mentors through the years whose tutelage allowed me to grow faster than I ever had before. Their advice taught me lessons, and those lessons never left me. That's why I feel so strongly about mentorship. I owe my career to it. I've gone years without it, and then I felt a stark difference once I discovered it again. My experience has taught me to be a mentorship advocate. So I hear you asking, how do I know if I'm ready to even be a mentor? To answer this, I'd like to bring the story back to my friend Ahmed. Ahmed was my first mentor in this industry. Ahmed had less than a year of experience when he started guiding me. Ahmed was exactly my age. He was definitely not what I would have imagined my first mentor to be. We were friends, we played field hockey together, but he had knowledge and experience that I didn't have. He was willing to take the time to teach me. And that's it. That's all you need to be a mentor. Experience and good intentions. The rest can be learned over time. Mentoring is a skill, like any other. You get better at it the more you do it. Kind of like interviews. But that's another story for a different keynote. I can always provide some tips both from myself and from other esteemed mentors from the industry. So here are a select few just to get you started. My first mentor couldn't be more like me. He was the same race, color, religion, gender, orientation, and height. Okay, he's a little bit taller, but who's counting? You can mentor people who are nothing like you. In fact, most of my mentors and mentees right now are very different from me, and that's very valuable. You will find that when you mentor people who are different from you, you can learn and grow a lot more from their unique perspectives. Find out what the mentee wants to get out of the relationship. Mentors can't help mentees who don't know what they want. In my case, Ahmed knew that I wanted to get my foot through the door, so he focused his time on that. But some mentees are already employed and may be looking for something else. Find out what that is. Remember that you are there as a guide, not as a captain or a boss. Don't dictate everything about the relationship. A mentee is not subservient to you, so you don't treat them like that. Try to adapt your teaching style to your mentee. Some approaches are more likely to succeed with some people than others. Don't be afraid of being creative, and above all, be patient. If you can't help a mentee, try and help them find a mentor who will. You don't have all the answers, so don't pretend that you do. But you might know someone else who does, and that's how you can make yourself useful. Share the stories of you failing and learning from failure. These are a lot more valuable than stories of successes. So just be honest, be vulnerable, and be humble. Don't be condescending. Remember that you are likely in their position once, and you don't have all the answers. You're not responsible for drastic turnarounds and change. You're only there to guide and share your experience. The goal is to help them reach their full potential, not yours, and definitely not what you believe is their full potential or calling in life. That's not up to you to decide. Manage your expectations. Expect your mentees not to follow your advice. Expect to repeat yourself a lot, and that's okay. Sometimes the only way to learn a lesson is to make the mistake first. Normalize that and be there when the mishap happens. Not to say I told you so, but to offer reassurances and support and further guidance. In most cases, your relationship will not be about directly teaching a skill, but more about guiding the mentee to answer that they seek. And don't rely solely on asking a mentee what they know. Ask them questions to assess their level of understanding, because we don't know what we don't know. In other cases, your mentee might need more directed guidance and tutelage. Consider giving them homework and setting loose deadlines. Show them that you were in the same place years ago. You know what they're going through, and you have learned a lot since then. Show them that growth is possible. So how do you know what kind of mentorship relationship you should be engaging in? It's simple. Just talk about it right at the beginning. Have the frank talk about what you can offer and what they were hoping to get out of the experience. Is this friendly or is this strictly formal? Sometimes you'll Learn right from the start that these two things are not the same. Then you can decide together whether to pursue this relationship, or if perhaps you can suggest someone else who can offer what is needed. Well, that's great and all for people who want to be mentors. But what about people who are looking to find mentors? And if you're paying attention, you should be looking for a mentor regardless of how long you've been in the industry. Well, let me bring it back to my friend Ahmed, my first mentor. Start with your circles, friends, coworkers, teachers, anyone who has experience that you don't have, or who have accomplished something that you wish to accomplish, or who embody values that you wish to embody. Any one of those people can be your mentors. My advice to you is when you look for mentors is not to always overreach. What I mean is if you're a student who has just graduated, don't necessarily only look for mentors who are 20 or 30-year veterans in the industry with accolades that are a mile long. Keep in mind that having such a mentor comes with advantages, surely, but also with some drawbacks. You can pretty much expect their day-to-day to be far removed from what yours would be. Their experience entering the industry will also be vastly different. The ones who take on mentees often take on many and are already extremely busy people, and so their availability will be limited. In addition to such mentors, I would advise you to seek some who are juniors in the industry. They can still provide you with knowledge and wisdom, and they will likely have experiences that are closer to yours. Their availability will likely be better as well. You can learn a lot from them, and it might be easier to befriend them. Another piece of advice I would give you when seeking a mentor is not to mention the word mentor. I mean, some people don't mind, but to others it's a heavy word that can scare them away. Instead, I would suggest you approach someone in a friendly way, asking directly for help or advice that you want. Then be proactive in taking that advice and applying it, and ask if you can contact them in the future once you've tried putting it into practice. Then just repeat this as needed. They may never realize that you are their mentor, but that's just a label that doesn't matter anyway, as long as you're getting the benefits of it. And this may seem disingenuous at first, but really you're being more honest and direct because you're just telling them exactly what you want. There's really nothing dishonest about this. And from my experience, it increases your chances of success in gaining a mentor. So why not? Take initiative. Respect your mentor's time. Over the course of your career, you will need more than one mentor. Don't drop mentors once you've learned a lot from them. Just foster those relationships. Trust your instincts. If some advice doesn't sound right, provide more context. If it still doesn't sound right, get a second opinion. If you're still not convinced, just don't do it. You are still in control. Your choices are yours alone. Understand that your mentor is human and doesn't know everything. It's okay to disagree with your mentor, and it's okay to say, I don't get it. And it's okay to end the relationship if it's not working for you, or if anything about it makes you uncomfortable. You can and will find another mentor. I'd like to end this presentation with these wise words. Being a mentor is a privilege, and having a mentor is a blessing. I sit on both sides of the mentorship table, and my life is richer and more rewarding for it. I hope that you all find both mentors and mentees, and that those relationships help all involved to grow and to thrive. Always remember that we are stronger together. Thank you.
And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for spending time with us for our very first Modern Magicks inaugural event. I hope you have enjoyed hearing from our alumni as much as I have. I hope you have found the event magical. And I am so proud of what the Code Coven alumni, our community, and the team has created over the past 2 years. This has been an incredible journey for me where I'm constantly learning. It's such a rewarding experience for me and has taken me further than I could possibly imagine in terms of my own personal growth and understanding. And I just hope that's something that we can extend into 2021 is being surrounded by people who feel the same way as I do in trying to create a wonderful, kind, loving community that are here to make a difference. I'm so excited with what we've got planned for 2021. I'm so excited to see how these teams, how our alumni are going to grow into their space now in this games industry. I am so excited to be able to celebrate all of this with you. So 2021, watch this space. Here we come. Have a fantastic rest of your day, week, month, year. And I hope to see you all soon. Thanks for joining us. Bye.